JoJo's Bizarre Adventures is just that, a very bizarre adventure, and very bizarre things happen when you watch or read it. That's why today I decided to talk about something very interesting that happened in the next part that not many people really talk about. Every time Jesus Christ, the saint's corpse, the saint, appeared in Steel Ball Run. Now first let's talk about the abilities of the saint's corpse. Ticket to Ride. Now, some people think Ticket to Ride is Lucy's stand, which it technically was hers for the time being when she had the Saint's corpse, but in reality, it's the Saint's corpse stand, of which the stand redirects misfortune, sending it afar to rest elsewhere and nullify or potentially on other people around the planet. The parts of Jesus' corpse occasionally merge with the analogous body parts of individuals coming into contact with them, upon such which some unique powers develop, i.e. being stand. Now here Hokagekhi included a backstory of Jesus Christ, of which it was the same backstory up until he died and became resurrected, of which he thanked Joseph for taking care of his body and states that he would travel east. When Joseph asks him about a future meeting, Jesus makes a map in the sand showing Joseph 9 locations. Jesus then travels east across the continent, learning new languages and cultures until he reaches the sea. Making a ship with the help of locals, he crosses the sea, arriving in a new land where he lives, ages, and finally dies. Having formed a connection with the natives prior to his death, they state that they wish to see him again. Shortly after his death, a great earthquake tears the ground apart and a great storm rages, dividing his corpse into 9 parts, which by the movement of the wind, sand, and animals are relocated further eastward to the 9 locations on Joseph's map spanning North America. Now let's talk about what the 9 locations are called, and they are called the Devil's Palm. Now this is a little bit off topic, but I just wanted to, speak about it a little bit, right? When Jesus died on the western coast of North America, a great storm and earthquake tore apart and reshaped the land, which divided his corpse into 9 parts. Over the course of almost 2 millennia, said parts would be carried by animals and other forces of nature eastwards towards the continent. The corpse parts seemingly began to form the Devil's Palm around themselves, using the palms to move themselves further across the land. The Devil's Palms seem to reappear and disappear often, with one or a small few appearing at a time. Each palm appears to be very similar to the point where scientists have mistaken them for the same geographical features moving from place to place. Now when Steel Ball Run starts, Jesus' corpse is initially taken for a different saint. A lot of people believe that it was someone else of the olden times whose corpse that they were all looking for, but some, like Blackmore, kind of believed it was Jesus. Now there are 3 official times Jesus actually appeared within Steel Ball Run. Once I don't believe he said anything to Blackmore, but he appeared in front of him. Second time to actually speak and give advice to Johnny. And third time he had impregnated the Virgin Lucy. It says right here, Blackmore is the first to perceive the presence of a living Jesus. Awed by this revelation, he lowers his guard to be fatally shot by Lucy Steele, which, part of me, I believe that was so crazy, especially for Blackmore, because he only officially appeared in 3 chapters. I thought he was going to be a way bigger problem, but for him to go out like that, it was so symbiotic. And if y'all actually wanted a video on that, I could get more into that. But now this second time happens during the Civil War fight, where it says, during his fight with Axl Rose, Johnny receives advice from Jesus, helping him overcome the Stand Civil War. Now, the advice was so crucial, so critical, that without that advice, Johnny would have been lost and destitute. He says, if your heart is wavering, do not shoot. You will grow. Once more shall the gates leading to a new path open for you. And that led to Johnny finally unlocking what he needed to, which was Tusk Act 3, and he started going fucking crazy. And now lastly, we get to a very dark part in the manga where immediately after Valentine's and Lucy's, that scene, Lucy flees to a closet where she stumbles upon the stolen parts and somehow becomes pregnant despite her being a virgin, discovering the corpse head in her womb, and later developing a stand. Now, if it's one thing I always thought was interesting about Jesus appearing in Steel Ball Run, is the fact that he only talks to one person, Johnny Joestar. That is the only person we see a living Jesus officially speak to. Besides that, he appears in front of Blackmore, which was moments before he died, which could obviously be symbolism for him calling him home and simply just saying his time has come right before he got shot. But those words were so key to Johnny because it suggests that his wavering heart could have opened up a new path of which he probably wouldn't have liked the end result, rather than him unlocking the dark determination where he just has an unfathomable determination to complete his goal no matter what the cost or charge is. I feel like I don't know the exact chapter we see dark determination at, but I'm pretty sure it's after his interaction with Jesus and after he does go with Jesus. And also, Ticket to Ride is a cool ass defensive stand, I can't lie. Like, it's so ridiculous. First you have Blade of Tears, where she's able to pull streaks of tears from her eyes and use them like knives, but they decompose once you come in contact, which means you can't really hurt anyone, it just threatens you. And of course, Divine Protection, which means, you just can't touch her, because some unlikely coincidence will happen and just neutralize the assailant. And it can also work in Lucy's favor, like as long as she touches you with the tear cutter. Like, for example, when Funny Valentine found a note that Lucy wrote, he ripped it up and threw it away. But coincidentally and miraculously, that exact same note came back together and ended up in a almost exactly same place and survived. It's just perfect fate. But really, that's all I got for y'all today. If y'all enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We're on the road to 5K, so anything helps. And until next time, peace.